It's Zach in the ATL, and we are going to talk about this week's rundown in the city of Atlanta. Again, the entire point of this page is to give you like Atlanta news, views, and reviews. And so I know I do a great job on the reviews. I'm hoping I can also do a great job on the views and news. Now, I think it's probably always good to start off. There's some heavy stuff to talk about. Like, let me just tell you right here. We got a mass shooter. We have political uproar. We got some really heavy topics to talk about in the very first news and views podcast. But let me go ahead and let's start off things on a lighthearted note. Like maybe a lighthearted note. This poor buck going head over heels in Buckhead. I know that's a lot. Take a look.
Jason.
It jumped.
Oh my gosh, I got it.
It jumped?
Yes, I got it on video.
Georgia politics are in an uproar because Representative Mesha Mainor of Georgia House District 56 made the public announcement that she was switching parties to become a Republican. And you know what? I wish her wish. Representative Mainor can do what she wants. She has the right to switch parties, and to my knowledge, she's a principled black woman who has done good work in her community and has a lot of support, including backing from the school choice movement. Again, I wish her wish. Her defection will have really no impact on anything in Georgia's House of Representatives regarding the balance of power. This is not North Carolina with a tenuous balance of control, but I fear it will have an impact on President Biden's chances of carrying the state in 2024 and on Democrats having a chance of winning at least one statewide office in 2026 because currently they hold none. The Mainor move was an absolute victory for Georgia Republicans. I can't say that it's not. As Senator Tuberville says that white nationalists are not racist, we have Georgia Republicans in dire need of black people who are willing to step out and step up on the stage to combat the message that the GOP is racist. And if we have learned anything from Diamond and Silk, and Tim Scott, is that Republicans reward their black politicians and they reward them well. Many national political watchers have moved quickly to criticize Mainor. Some have proclaimed that there is no way she will win her heavily Democratic district. And personally, I don't think that's what she's trying to win. I don't think that's the point. I think that many people are missing the forest for a tree. This isn't about winning one seat. It's about winning 16 electoral votes. Steve Bannon's political strategy for Republican wins includes chipping away at the black vote, which is pretty hard to do without black people. But when you have Stephen A. Smith, the most visible black man in sports commentary, spouting Republican talking points, and Killer Mike supporting Brian Kemp over powerhouse Stacey Abrams, and Mesha Mainor, a well-respected HBCU-educated black woman standing behind a Republican ticket, those chips start to fall. I have received invites for events meant to explain why I became a black Republican. I have seen new Republican offices being opened in portions of Metro Atlanta that are majority Hispanic and Latino, and I see the Republican strategy very clearly in this state. What I don't see clearly is what the Georgia Democratic Party is doing to combat it. I recall when this lady sat in her bathroom and said,
President Trump, if you see this, please save us.
Well, today, I really think it's time that maybe Georgia Democrats call on President Biden and the national Democrats to get involved, because clearly there is a missing strategy somewhere in the state of Georgia, and 16 electoral votes are way too many to lose. And in regards to Representative Mainor, I don't think that she's going to even probably run for her seat again in 2024. Personally, I think that she is probably going to run for a statewide office as a black Democrat, Republican, the only black Democrat in the slate of Republican endorsed candidates, and I think that she's going to have a very strong chance. This beaver wasn't just eager; this beaver was rabid. On Saturday, a young girl swimming at Georgia's Lake Lanier was attacked by a beaver. Now, she was rescued by her father, who bludgeoned the rabid animal to death, but not before the beaver bit the girl and then scratched the father. Now, when examined, it was confirmed that this Lake Lanier beaver was indeed infected with rabies. This bucky bad boy was considered a big beaver, coming in at more than 50 pounds and being more than 3 feet long. It is uncommon, or well, rather it should be, for beavers to attack humans, infect humans, or even contract rabies. While any living mammal, including humans, can be rabid, skunks, raccoons, and bats are considered rabies vector species, and they are the biggest spreaders of the disease. So, I urge you to be cautious always at Lake Lanier. I'm never going to go there willingly, and definitely ask that if you do go there, be cautious, and be cautious of the animals. If bitten, immediately seek help. Thankfully, they got him. Andre Longmore, the most recent mass shooter in the metro Atlanta area, has been killed in a shootout with law enforcement. Longmore went on a killing spree in the quiet, sleepy city of Hampton, Georgia, located south of the Atlanta airport, about 40 miles from downtown. It is suspected that a carjacking effort motivated Longmore to do this, and it is reported that he went from home to home in search of a vehicle to steal, killing residents one by one, including a husband and a wife. Now, while we do not know why Longmore targeted this community, some are saying this may have been a racially motivated hate crime, in that it is being shared on social media that each of his victims happened to be a white person. Police have said that no known motive is found as of yet, but I want to say that any racially motivated crime is indeed a hate crime, and my heart breaks for the families of the victims. Also from last week in Atlanta, this is Noni Batiste-Casico, a 19-year-old girl who was jailed May 20th for a misdemeanor bench warrant for failure to appear in court due to criminal trespass and damage to property. She was found dead on Tuesday in the Atlanta City Detention Center. She was 19 years old, dead in jail. And, this is the most recent questionable death to occur in Atlanta. Don't forget LaShawn Thompson, a 35-year-old mentally ill man who was in jail based on another misdemeanor. It was a misdemeanor assault charge. He was found dead in the Fulton County Jail. His body covered in insect bites, his body malnourished. And note that 90% of the men in his unit, the mental health ward of this facility, were found to be severely malnourished and infected with either lice or scabies. This facility was slated to close, but Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens and our current city council, the same leaders who have authorized the use of more than $60 million for the construction of Cop City, opted to instead rent the facility to Fulton County due to overcrowding. And the population that they put in this facility, 87% black. One of my least favorite phrases is Atlanta isn't a real place. Atlanta is a real place. Atlanta is a real place with real tractors at the real Waffle House where people really get arrested. Now take a look at this.
He didn't try to. Oh my God! He parked it. No. Is he black? In the Waffle House parking lot. Whose car is that? Whose car is that? Lord, he bleeding, y'all. Did they shoot him? He bleeding. They shot him in the back. They shot him in the back? No, he tased though.
Whose car is this?
Oh, nobody not coming up. They finna get paid, honey.
I wish that was my car.
My Shirley over here paid me. With no shoes on or nothing. Did he? It's giving he stole somebody tried the trailer. Lord.
He really was hitting the police car.
So with all of that being said, I think it might be good to try to end on some good news in that inflation in America is down now 3%, but unfortunately, very few Americans know this. When the threat of raising inflation was expected to push the American economy into a catastrophic recession, every major news outlet made this front page news, lead story news. Now that the economy is stabilizing and inflation is dropping, I'm hearing crickets. Inflation has fallen for 12 consecutive months. 13.2 million jobs have been created since President Joseph Biden took office. It seems to me that Bidenomics is working.